Zombie apocalypse.
Hello and welcome to I'm Facerol's Forum Explorum Episode 3, a new series which I'll be sharing with you every Monday. In this series I hope to dig deep into the forums and bring you some custom PCs like no other. And as always I'll leave a direct link to the thread in the description below. Let the Forum Explorum begin. Okay, so sticking with the scratch builds this week, we're going to bring up the third most popular build of all time, and we're going to have a look at that and see what you guys think. Remember to leave your comments down below. We really need to know what you guys think, and we really want to hear your feedback. So starting off with choosing scratch build, we're going to change this to number of views. We're going to leave it descending, and we're going to bring this to the beginning of the thread, so the beginning of when the thread first went live. That's going to bring up the most popular build since then based on views. Okay, so we go down to the third one, and it is Project Blue Horizon. Okay, so here we could see he's actually planned his build out by rendering and making some 3D images of his final result. As you can see here, it's a minimalistic build, looks very clean, and definitely can't wait to see this one. Okay, so here we can see he's actually going to be using some aluminium to build this. Here in particular is his motherboard tray, which he is actually cut out with a jigsaw, and he'll be doing some CNC milling later on in the build. Okay, so here is his motherboard tray that he's cut out. He's cut out some slots with his jigsaw. He's actually tapped some holes as well for where his standoffs will be going in. Very clean look there, and that'll be the inside panel of his case. Very clean look. Obviously it still needs polishing to get rid of the scratches, but a nice look so far. Okay, so here he's gone ahead and cut out the front panel. He's added some USB slots and also his power and reset button. Just simply drilled them out and just filed them away to make a nice clean circle. Okay, so he's managed to build his back panel and his front panel as well as the middle motherboard tray. He's joined them all together, and the I/O shield actually looks very nice there. Nice clean job there. Nice clean cuts. He's actually filed away all the excess aluminium that would have been sticking on there, and that's looking very nice. He just needs to polish off everything else and give it a nice sand down, prime it, and then paint it. Okay, so he's gone ahead here and he's actually made a 90-degree block for his barb fittings. Now, he's actually polished off a couple of the sides of it, so very clean look there. Obviously, he still needs to do the sides of the block, as you can see there, a couple of scratches, but yeah, he simply just used his polishing wheel after he sanded it back with some higher grit sandpaper to remove most of the scratches, as much as possible anyway, and then you get that nice clean brushed aluminium look. Okay, so he's actually gone ahead and primed the case. Very clean look. You can see that the prime is actually applied with no abrasions or anything to it, so it's very, very clean, and it's going to make for a nice finish on the paint job. Very nice work indeed. Okay, so he's gone ahead and made this heatsink, and then he's actually milled out a flow path for some liquid. So it's looking actually very nice. I'm not sure what it's going to be used for. I'm assuming it's more for aesthetics than anything. I can't see that thing cooling anything because it's pretty big. But you can see that he's actually got a channel there for the O-ring, and he's actually made some holes in there and tapped them, which means he's going to be putting an acrylic piece over the top. So if I scroll down a bit more, we'll see if we can see the finished result. And here it is. He's actually put an acrylic piece over the top and bolted that down with some hex screws. Okay, so he's gone ahead and he's made a hard drive cage. Simply bent some aluminium into shape, drilled out the holes there, and then filed them down to size. Okay, so here's his front panel, obviously not cleaned up yet. He's actually added some mesh to it with some JB Weld, and then he's put some LED strips underneath, so that'll look nicely when that's all cleaned up and that's all glowing. And here's the finished result, all cleaned up, looking very nice. That nice blue accent there, and down below you can actually see the final result with the LED strip behind it. Very clean look, and that will be going onto the front of his case. Very nice job. He's actually started with his wire management. He actually hooked up all his LEDs to one circuit, so it's easy to control with two buttons. So down below you'll actually see he's made a panel for his buttons, and he's actually made a nice accent blue glow through there and you will see that just down below. Okay, so here he's actually milled out his front panel window and also his back panel. He milled out the window from the aluminium and then he added the acrylic window to it. Okay guys, so he's actually made his own reservoir. Little tiny compact reservoir, will look very clean in the build. Simply used his lathe machine and milled that out. Great result there, looks nice and clean, and I can't wait until he adds some liquid to it. So he's actually gone ahead and made some fittings, some 90-degree fittings. He's actually screwed them into one of his panels, so I'm interested to see what happens here. I think this all has to do with his reservoir. So I think that the heat sink that he made is actually going to be a custom reservoir and join onto something else. So very interested to see what happens here later on in the build. So he's gone ahead and he's cut and milled out some panels for his power supply. Now this is a custom power supply cover that I haven't seen before. I've never seen anyone do anything like it. Normally people would just grab their acrylic and they'll heat it up and bend it. This, however, is many different layers put together, and then he adds the aluminium mesh, as you can see right there, with some JB World, very strong stuff indeed. And now he adds that middle layer of aluminium. Now it looks really clean there, and I like how he's added that because it just brings out the build and gives it just an extra something. And he's actually put a hole there for his cables to route out, which I'll show you just down below. So his cables are routing out, it looks very clean, and I like how he's put the mesh around his cables as well. Makes for a very clean look, and just it goes with the build, and it really hides the coloured cables that much better. Okay guys, so as I was saying before, those fittings that he made, it was for the reservoir heatsink that he's done. He's actually added a bit of a motor and a turning system, so this thing turns within the reservoir and makes for a nice aesthetically pleasing look, as you can see there down below where the blue accents are coming out, and it just gives the build that much more pop and just brings it to life. So he's actually filled the build with some UV green liquid. That reservoir turned out nice, it looks nice and clean, and he's got his tubing there, and if you look at the beginning of the tubing you can actually see it's lit up, so he's put some custom LED lights in there, probably like some 5 or 3mm LED bulbs, which he's wired up to his circuit. So guys, here's the final result. He's got his reservoir in there, he's got it all tubed up, filling it, got the LED lights in. Looks fantastic. I love the brushed aluminium finish on it, and the LED lights that go along the front and the top. Excellent job there, and his case window actually has some etching on it. Blue Horizon, the build name, very clean look. That mesh at the front. Awesome job there. I like his tubing, how it's all hidden. If it was some acrylic tubing, I think I would have liked it a bit better, but you know, it just works with what he's done. So excellent job there, and he's got his custom reservoir, the liquid running down like that. Just a nice look there. So I'll bring you down lower, I'll show you some more photos. So a nice view of his hardware there. He's got his power supply turned on, some LED lights backlighting that, and we've seen this before, but to show you again the LED lights, the little bulbs up the top there on his custom made block. Some custom acrylic 90-degree fittings that he made there. Very nice look. Shows off the liquid that much more. The nice UV lights, the UV blue, just lighting up the green liquid. Looks that much more better, that much more aesthetically pleasing. Cable management is on point. So very nice result there. This guy put a lot of time and effort into this, and it is certainly paid off and definitely deserves to be featured. If you guys like this build, please leave down in the comments what you liked about it. I want to hear the main things you liked done to the build, and perhaps we could actually try and do some guides on how to do this type of thing. And let me know what you think. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll leave you with these last couple of images, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Click here to check out our latest custom PCs that we've built from scratch. Do you have a PC you want featured on the channel? Well, click here to see what other PCs have been featured. Are you into gameplay? Click here to see our latest gameplay content. Thanks for watching, guys. Your feedback is always helpful, so be sure to leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next one.